What's up, folks? Welcome back to Tactical Tortoise. My name's Trevi, and I'm in my car today. I'm traveling to Motor City Mayhem to help commentate that with the Death or Glory Wargaming folks, and I couldn't be more excited. But one thing I realized that I totally missed yesterday is that we got an Imperial Armor Compendium update, and I'll be damned if traveling across country will stop me from giving you all the juicy deets of new rules updates that are affecting Warhammer 40k. So that's what we're going to do today. I am editing this on my phone, so it's going to be a rough one, but hopefully it doesn't come out too bad. Let's freaking do it. Okay, so here we are, updated May 11th, 2022. Now, for the most part, there aren't a ton of changes here, but we do have changes to the top two factions in the metagame right now, those being Eldari and Tyranid. So I figure that's a pretty important update we should probably talk about. To start things off here, we do have a little bit of a change to Adeptus Custodes. Not really a functional one, but just kind of some housekeeping. Previously, a lot of the vehicles, especially the Contemptor Dreadnoughts, had the core keyword added in the errata, but they already had it listed on their datasheet, so they had it twice. They didn't do anything, but it was something that people like to point to as like a stupid thing that, you know, the development team did. And so getting rid of that is good, but nothing actually changing mechanically there. All of the other changes, like I said, are going to be to the newer codexes, so Eldari and Tyranids. We have a designer's note here that rules should now reference the Craft, or the Eldari Codex, excuse me, not the Craft Worlds Codex, which is important. So going to maintain the consistency of those rules wordings. Irilith getting basically all of the special rules from the Craft Worlds Codex, including the OBSEC ability for Shadow Specters, as well as all of the new Craft World abilities. Shadow Specters themselves get that 5+ invulnerable save for being an aspect warrior, as well as the core keyword, both pretty good. We have Strands of Fate added to a bunch of the vehicles, but obviously no battle focus on that stuff, including the Titans. No battle focus on the Titans is pretty sad, but I think that's how the Wraith Knight works already, so that's not too surprising. I think the one big change here is going to be to the Wraith Seer. The Wraith Seer is getting the updated Wraith Bone form per the other Wraith units in the Craft Worlds Codex. So instead of ignoring AP 1, it's going to reduce damage by 1. So that makes the Wraith Seer much more viable, I think, in a lot of Eldari lists. Some lists are already playing 1 or 2 Wraith Lords, but we don't really see the Wraith Seer that often because it was missing this special rule. It's going to be taken a lot more often, I think, with this update here. And then we have the same update coming into the Scathach Wraith Knight, although it doesn't look like the Titans, the Revenant and Phantom Titan, are getting that Wraithbone form ability, so they are not going to be getting that -1 damage, which is something that Games Workshop has been reticent to add to the big, huge Titanic units. It is nice to have it on the Wraith Knights in particular, because they are a little bit squishy outside of that. The access to invulnerable saves kind of replaces a weapon upgrade for them, so they do significantly less damage if they do take their invulnerable saves. But having that -1 damage built in is going to be pretty good for them. We also have the Scorpion and Cobra with updates to the weapon selection for them as well. Now, moving on, we have all of the Tyranid changes as well down here, and this is going to be pretty... I think some relatively functional changes. We have high potential keyword added to all those things. So with the rework of the Tyranid Codex keywords, you actually couldn't take these in Tyranid detachments, and you couldn't take just Tyranid detachments. You had to be either entirely Codex Tyranids or entirely Genestealer Cult until the new Codex, obviously, and they added that high potential keyword to replace kind of the original, the OG Tyranid keyword. But now we have Hive Tendril in there, and all this stuff can be played. Perfect, we're doing it. It's working. Meonic Spores have gotten the Living Artillery keyword, so they don't get high fleet abilities, but they don't break any of your faction abilities if you do take them. Not that I think I'm going to see a lot of Meonic Spores on the table in the not too distant future, but who knows. Instinctive Behavior getting removed from all of these data sheets as well, which I think is to be expected, and a lot of their wording updated to be the same as in the Codex. So Sky Slasher Swarms getting the Swooping Assault based on the Codex ability, so just a 9-inch deep strike for them. And I actually think Sky Slasher Swarms are probably maybe a hidden gem in here, because they are the same cost as Ripper Swarms in the same slot, but are strictly better because they have fly and can deep strike innately. I guess they are only 3 wounds rather than 4, but the movement 12 is really what you want them for. You're not really taking Ripper Swarms to survive multiple turns, and so having access to, you know, paying that 1 wound for the ability to move 12 inches on turn 1, you can easily be scoring engage in all fronts or taking enemy objectives, and that's just friggin' sweet for Sky Slasher Swarms. Unfortunately, no killer keyword on any of the little Swarm boys, so you can't give them like Obsec with the Swarm Lord or something like that, which would be kind of cute, but either way, I think for 45 points, especially if we start to see some points cost increases for Tyranid units, I think Sky Slasher Swarms are going to be returned to be kind of a hidden gem of a utility unit. We also see all of the monsters getting the updated wording of death throws. So on a 6+, the closest enemy unit takes the damage. Not every unit within 3 inches takes the damage. So just going to be updating that to the current wording of Tyranids. So realistically, the big thing here for Tyranids is that they are basically going to be able to get access to their Forge World units, which they couldn't take in the Codex as written. No real mechanical changes here, unlike Eldari, which got you know, the updated wording of those abilities to make those units a little bit more powerful. So a little bit disappointing for Tyranids. I was hoping, especially in lieu of Crusher Stampede, getting some built-in bonuses to the Tyranid monsters, especially the big Forge World guys like the Hierodules. And I think this would have been a good opportunity to, for example, bake in some of the abilities from elsewhere in the updated Tyranid Codex, like the -1 damage ability from Carnifexes. There was a part of me that was hoping that was going to get added to Hierodules in order to make up for the fact that they didn't have that -1 damage, and they were 18 wounds, or they are 18 wounds, which means that they can't be affected by dense cover or obscuring terrain, which is a big downside for those guys. They are very squishy because any anti-tank can shoot them through walls, essentially, or shoot them through obscuring windows, and there's no way for them to hide. So -1 damage, I think, would have been a really good trade-off for that, and probably would have, you know, rocketed those guys back into playability. But for now, despite the fact that we can now legally take Hierodules, I don't know if we're going to be doing that so much, unfortunately. And that's it for, I guess, TravelTortoise. That's a little bit of a quick video just to talk about the IAC updates. I hope everyone is excited to get access to those units again and get the correct keywords on them and the updated versions of their abilities. So that's going to be very exciting, and I hope to see those on the table in the not too distant future. Otherwise, please come hang out with me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/DeathOrGlory Wargaming is going to be where the Motor City Mayhem this weekend is going to be streamed. It's starting bright and early Friday morning and streaming all the way through the weekend. I'm going to be there with the Death or Glory team doing some commentary. It's going to be freaking sick, and I'm so excited for it. So come hang out with me over the weekend. If you're at Motor City Mayhem, come say hi and stuff. Otherwise, yeah, that's it for today. Remember to keep it classy, folks, and have happy wargaming.